Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight. Monday, March the 7th, 2016. We head towards down that road to WrestleMania and also Raw Block, the WWE Network special airing Saturday. With this Raw coming to you from Chicago, Illinois, the All-State Arena. Now, after last week's Raw was so-so, heading towards not just Mania, but Raw Block as well. I thought this Raw was really good. A decent one tonight. Better than last week in my mind with two really good matches. And as you see from the subtitle, we have a supposed tag team ending up in flames. And an NXT superstar returns to the main roster. It possibly starts a feud that could culminate in a match at WrestleMania. Now, of course, 3 weeks ago, of course, we were looking forward to seeing Roman Reigns get his ass booed in Chicago, but we didn't get to see that tonight. Because Reigns is still suffering from his nasal injury. Don't know how long is he out for. Is it going to affect him being at WrestleMania? We shall see. I would say keep him out of Mania. We don't want to see him win. I've been saying we're not fucking buying him being pushed. I've never seen him supposed to be champion. So I'm glad he's taking a Triple H on Saturday. Do I think he's actually going to win it? I don't know. And when it comes to Shane McMahon returning, is he going to win against Taker? It's like, interesting. This whole Taker Shane thing, like when it was announced, it was kind of cool, but it was like heading towards it, it's like kind of weird booking. I know they're trying to figure a replacement for John Cena. It's supposed to be Taker and Cena, but this is like a kind of a shuffle thing, trying to go for last minute thing. And like it's interesting that Taker's not exactly heel, but he's on Big Man's side. And like, is it gonna be a clean victory for Shane, or is Taker? Like, we don't know who's gonna win. That's what makes this match so interesting. So for the first time since appearing in Wall Detroit, where I was at, cannot believe it all was that I was at the Detroit one. When Shane McMahon showed up. Got a good pop in Chicago as he came out to open up Monday Night Raw. Now, of course, Shane had to hear not just what Taker had to say last week on Raw when he appeared, saying that the blood of Shane will be on Vince's hands. Well, Vince denouncing Shane as his son by saying he's just the son of a bitch. Feeling more attitudinal. When after Shane was talking about the match, but Vince denouncing him, calling him an old bastard, here comes Vince, coming up to a familiar chant we used to hear during the Attitude Era. Asshole, asshole, oh God. The good old days of being able to chant that. Those the good old days. The Attitude Era. They're trying to bring it back with more edgier stuff. I mean, it may be lasting till Mania, but I would love them to see if they do more edgier things after Mania as well. So Shane was listening to Vince talk about how he's announcing him, even stepping on an old photo of them when Shane was just a little tyke, furthering the personal animosity heading towards these two. Saying, man, you're not my son anymore, Shane. And at WrestleMania, you're gonna get your ass kicked. You will fail your sons. I never failed you. Man, that's why you have that same invincibility. Not wanting to fail. And not failing at all. But you will fail in front of your own children who will be watching the show, whether it's on the network or not. The Taker will take you straight to hell. And since you're not my son anymore, I'm denouncing you. It's security. Here comes security. Bunch of job security in their own right. Shane's like, you don't touch me, I will destroy you. Pen up, with what happened 2 weeks ago, and of course, what happened when I wasn't on the wall last week when Vince started speaking stuff. So security got in, bang! All the security guards got their butts whipped by Shane, tagging him down, wanting a piece of Vince, but he did not want any piece of Shane or Mac. So Shane was standing tall, taking care of the security team. Now on to our next scenario. Kevin Owens against Neville. Good news. Yay, no Big Show! Yay! More good news to come. I mean, if you missed my one review last week, I said I wasn't too happy about the direction that they will, that I was thinking they were headed with Kevin Owens and Big Show, with them trading off count-out victories. I was like, please don't let these two face up at WrestleMania. Now with Big Show being injured recently, that's wrestling gods saying, Big Show, you don't deserve to wrestle Owens. Somebody else should. Like, these two were in a good match at Mania, but we got a much better one at the end. Fun match between Neville and Owens. Neville's been pushed a lot more on the roster. Like, he's been on the main roster about a year now, and he's been underutilized. He was on NXT last week against Finn Balor. And the match, well, maybe not as good as the match at NXT TakeOver last year. At NXT TakeOver Rival, which was awesome, by the way. And that match, last week's match, was awesome as well. Neville looked awesome in the match against Finn. It was a great match. Proving why Neville should be pushed a lot more on the main roster. Even Shane said that in his promo. Said that when I take over Raw, if I win at Mania, all these no-talented assholes, like some people, Woman Reigns will not be pushing more. People that deserve it, like Neville and Owens, should be pushed a lot more. And Telebrieze too. And the Ascension. Go down the list. Mostly NXT people. Anyway, this match, though, Owens and Neville, was great. A fun match, great brawl between these two guys on the outside, especially some great spots on the outside. Neville doing some big splashes on the outside and getting down against the steel steps as well. Even getting a holy shit chant. But while Neville's coming with his high-flying moves, Owens came with his power moves, including the cannonball, splashes in the corner, and all that great stuff. Including a big suplex. Even Neville went up at some point for a shooting star press on the outside. That's that great spot that he did. They got a holy shit chant. He also did a splash on the second rope. It looked like that was like the closest thing that beating Owens was that second rope splash. And that was what happened. It was terrific. Fun little match until after that second rope splash, he was trying to set up possibly for the red arrow, but then Owens rolled him up. 1, 2, 3 victory for the IC champion, Kevin Owens. But he wasn't done with Neville. He was ready to beat him up. Even doing a powerbomb on the apron. And that leads to one of the best moments of Raw tonight. So let's get to good news and more good news. The good news is, we're not going to see Kevin Owens against Big Show. Yay! And the better news is, it's possibly going to be Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn! Yes, Sami Zayn showed up on Raw tonight as Owens was about to powerbomb Neville through the apron. Here comes Sami Zayn. The ball was on. And I walked out. So I'm a big Sami Zayn fan. Poof. I saw NXT in Detroit. Got this. Yeah, I forgot the Y, but I made it up there. So, I'm a big Zayn fan. He was like one of the first guys I saw on NXT that got me into that brand. And it was cool to see Sami Zayn back on the main roster. It had been rumored for a while about Sami Zayn debuting in WrestleMania. There was like little inklings about him debuting, especially maybe being involved at Roadblock on Saturday to set up the match against Owens. But instead of setting up the possible match against Owens at Mania, setting it up at Roadblock, he set it up tonight on Raw. He's also going to be on Miz TV on SmackDown. So there you go. Sami Zayn begins return to main roster, taking Kevin Owens. And if Kevin Owens is not wrestling AJ Styles at WrestleMania, I think you may know who's AJ wrestling now at Mania after what happened tonight. As you see my subtitle. If we can't get that match, I would rather have Zayn against Owens. And I would love to see Owens still remain Intercontinental Champion. What better way to get revenge on the man that cost you and beat you for the NXT Championship over a year ago than beat Kevin Owens for his title, the IC Championship? That would be an awesome one for Sami Zayn if it's one-on-one with Owens and me. It would be awesome. And I'm glad. That was like, I was like a lot of people. We were all fearing Owens Big Show. We're like, this is not the right direction for Kevin Owens. I'm glad Thank the wrestling gods. Thank you. There is a wrestling god that said, fuck Big Show Owens. We want somebody else to wrestle Owens. And it's Sami freaking Zayn. So, I shall give out a celebration. Yep. My celebration for this. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, ole. So there you go. One of the best moments of Raw was that. So I was happy to see Sami Zayn come in there and set up a possible Owens Zayn match. Speaking of setting up feuds, they're trying so hard and trying to set up a Lana Brie Bella feud. We saw the interaction last week, and now we had more interaction as Brie Bella would take on Summer Rae. It was a so-so Divas match. You know, Summer Rae's getting some wins lately. You know, she beat Paige a few weeks ago. And I saw on Superstars in Detroit, she beat Alicia Fox. So, it was okay, a little sloppy match with Brie Bella coming some big moves, even going for Brie mode with the big kicks, paying homage to her husband, Daniel Bryan. But as Brie was taking control after Summer Rae took control for the first half of the match, Lana stood at ringside with a hot jean outfit on. She looked hot in that outfit. Lana always looks hot. I've always thought Lana was hot. Even if she's attached to Rusev. She was wearing a black jacket. Hashtag we want Lana on the back. Graffiti style. Kind of like what she was wearing when she was in a storyline with Dolph Ziggler last year. Kind of the same stuff that she was wearing in that situation. So if that distraction, Summer Rae fed off that with Brie being distracted by Lana, rolled her up 1, 2, 3 victory for Summer Rae. And then Lana got in there, got physical, nailed Brie with one of her finishing moves. So there you go. Because I heard Lana was training to be wrestling. But not only is it strange to finally see Lana try to wrestle, it is interesting to see her, like I said, dressed up in some of the same outfit that she wore when she was dating Dolph Ziggler. In storyline last year, in the jean outfit, it was like weird. Is she back with Dolph? Not exactly, because she's, of course, as we all know, real life engaged to Rusev. That's why she wasn't on TV for a while, because she was being punished for that, for leaking this, especially in the midst of that storyline with her and Summer Rae, which made it more weird to see her get involved in that match because they were involved in that love triangle with Dolph and Rusev over the summer that failed to pay off, especially with Lana getting injured right at the payoff point. So there you go. So I've had a little OK Diva sloppy action. We have Dean Ambrose coming out, proving why Dean Ambrose should be over and be a champion and be in a match of Mania more than freaking Roman Reigns. Because I've always been when he was in S.H.I.E.L.D., I didn't thought nothing of Ambrose. Hell, I was a bigger Seth Rollins fan, like everybody else was. Praise who? Seth Rollins, we do miss you. Cannot wait till he comes back and picks off where he left off. And gets booked better and wins his titles and wins his matches on his own. No interference, like he was near towards the end of his reign. Stepping away from the authority, blah, 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 blah. But Ambrose wants to go up against the authority, especially going up against Triple H this Saturday at WWE Raw in Toronto. As I said earlier in the video, I said, like, this match is interesting. Especially the situation they're in with Roman Reigns might be out, which I think every fan's answer to the possibility of Roman Reigns being out for Mania. The answer of, do they want Reigns out of Mania? And are they hoping Reigns is out long enough to miss Mania? Everyone's answer, yes. Yeah, you don't want to wish any harm to Roman Reigns. You know, like a sick person would wish anybody to get injured. But if Reigns is injured and is out for Mania, we'll take it. You know, it's sad, but we do want him out. And Ambrose is so over. Great chance for him. Great pop when he came out. Talk about, and he delivers some good promos. He has been a good promo guy, especially when he stepped out from the Shield. And like he was in the Shield, he was okay. He was trying to be the leader. But when he became a solo guy, he gotten better, in my mind. Better wrestler, better promo guy. He's like, I'm going to shake up WrestleMania. I'm going to ruin everyone's plans. There's supposed to be this Triple H Reigns match. I'm going to shake things up. I'm going to hijack WrestleMania. I'm going to hijack Roadblock this Sunday. And hijack the championship. But here comes Triple H. say that, Dean, you're in this fantasy lane, but your fantasy is going to come crashing down on you because I will annihilate you at Roadblock. Of course, that will be in Toronto. And Ambrose wanted to beat the Triple H now. Before Roadblock. Wanted Roadblock early. But Triple H was like, I'm going to fight you on my time. It's my time! My time! My time! His own theme song. Back in the day when he was in China, there's a petition coming out to let China be in the Hall of Fame. They won't let him in because of a porn history. Look at Sonny. Anyway. So we had that little interaction. Of course, as we would see later on tonight, it wouldn't be the only interaction these two would have. As we head towards that main event tonight, which was signed, made in a segment, Dean Ambrose against Bray Wyatt in a rematch from the feud about a year or two ago. So now on to this little matchup, Dolph Ziggler in an elimination match against Sheamus, King Barrett, and Rusev, 3/4 of the League of Nations, no Del Rey tonight. It was basically a 3-on-1 handicap match turned to an elimination match. Basically, they're punishing Dolph because there was some tweet coming out saying about how he took out the Authority, be punished for it. I thought when Dolph was the guy, he eliminated Team Authority and that whole thing when Sting came out and Survivor Series 24, I thought Dolph was going to get a big push out of that, but nothing. And that's why Dolph said that in his tweet that was deleted, that he took out the Authority and got punished for it. And he should be pushed a lot more. Like everybody else will give me. I'm a big Ziggler guy. And I'm sad he's getting demoted like everybody else on the main roster. Maybe if Shane takes off, maybe Dolph will get pushed a lot more. Like everybody else I just mentioned earlier. Anyway, so we had this 3-on-1 elimination match. And Dolph tried to outrun the numbers with no partners in this match. He was not allowed any partners in this match. It's kind of like symbolism. And this could be the start of something, because we saw him lose to Miz last week for some reason. This might be the build up for something, especially maybe frustrations are starting to grow. Especially seeing what would happen in this match. Getting punished from posting a tree, blah, 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 blah. So he made a match. It was okay, little match of being isolated. Of course, you have to be isolated, especially if you have only yourself. And only yourself to blame. So as Ziggler was getting basically triple team, getting pummeled, with some big kicks from Rusev. Bear coming with some big moves. So I set up this Winter Chains move. They were taking turns, tagging each other in to beat up Ziggler. But then Ziggler coming with some big moves. Come flying back, including a big move that puts Barrett against the turnbuckle. Setting him up for a super kick. Coming off of that. Pushing to the post. And 1, 2, 3 for Barrett. Being eliminated by Ziggler. So it's 2-on-1. Rusev against... And Rusev and Sheamus left to fight Ziggler. Despite Ziggler once again trying to overrun the odds, 2-on-1 instead of 3-on-1, where Ziggler trying to go for the famous sir, and Sheamus avoids it, and then Ziggler was being pushed out of the way for that miss of the famous sir. Rusev on the outside nailed Ziggler with a big kick to set up for the pro kick by Sheamus, and a 1-2-3 victory for the League of Nations. With only one member being eliminated in this elimination match. Like I said, with Ziggler losing last week against Miz and also losing tonight, this could set up to something for Ziggler and Mania. Like, frustrations building, he's losing all the time, blah, 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 getting demoted. So, there you go. Now, on to Divas Tag. We have basically the Fastlane rematch. As Naomi and Tamina teamed up again against Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. Now, this is a different match, different emotion, because as we all thought, it was set up on SmackDown after the screwy ending last week, that they had a set up again on SmackDown, and it's official triple threat match, WrestleMania for the Divas Championship, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte. I hope to God they give them enough time. I don't want a 7-minute match. These three deserve a 20-minute match. As I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, if we cannot get a Sasha-Charlotte match one-on-one, this is the second best thing. I'll take this triple threat. Maybe next year we'll see Sasha-Charlotte one-on-one. But I'll take a triple threat, especially with Becky Lynch in it. And these three should get the time. I've been saying about this Divas Revolution not breaking through because they haven't broken the chains. They're limited to how much time they can get. WWE's trading them down putting in a ball and chain, not letting them do what they have done at NXT, limiting them. They need to break those chains and take chances. I hope they do that. They break the chains of WWE and put on an epic 15-minute match or more at WrestleMania. Not some 7-minute bullshit. I hope that's what they do. With Charlotte and ringside for this match, and Ric Flair too. We had this tag team match. It was a little short. It should have been longer. Especially if you're building up Sasha and Becky as formidable contenders for the match at Mania. This was a little bit too short. So Becky came and got isolated early with Tamina and Naomi. Kept the hot tag into Sasha. Covers some big flashy moves. Knee stomp, all that great stuff. On to Naomi. Going for a bulldog, but then reversing it into the bank statement, making Naomi tap out. Victory for Sasha and Becky. But it wasn't celebratory for long. With Becky already taken out by Tamina, Charlotte would come in and take out Sasha. Would pound all over Sasha till Becky came in, but then she got pummeled too with a suplex from Charlotte, laying out both of her WrestleMania opponents. All she needs to do now is get rid of Wick. So there you go. Now on to our next matchup, which could have WrestleMania implications. It's for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships as the New Day. New Day Rocks indeed. Not wearing my shirt today, man. Of course, they were defending against the newly formed team for AJ Styles with Jericho, of course, Y2AJ. This was a really good tag team match. This was fun. Probably one of, if you ever caught anything good on Raw, besides maybe Neville and Owens, maybe it could have been a lot longer, but this match was really good, this tag team match. Really fun. With Jericho starting out, and he and Edge had flying early. They even flew on both Biggie and Kofi early. They had big double springboards off the top rope until both of them on the floor. But then I knew they would take over the double team. I love when Kofi and Biggie like switch tags off each other. Pummels one guy in the corner and does the thing where Kofi gets Irish whipped by Biggie onto the guy in the corner. And Xavier's got the trombone. He's like, They rocks. I love when they do that spot. And they were doing that to Jericho, being isolated for the majority of the matchup. Until the tag came to AJ, there were so many great spots in this match. I love when AJ did like that springboard move, like he jumped up the top rope, jumped up the rope under Kofi, and led it straight to a swinging backbreaker, a backbreaker from the top rope. That was like cool. That was really cool. Backflip DDT, that was a great spot. And then Big E came in for some big moves, even calling AJ at one point. He was setting up a big ending many times in this matchup. But AJ would come out of that, going for some big moves there. And even got double team finish at one point. And then AJ would, Jericho break the count. There was even one point in the match when AJ was taken out. But then Jericho was fighting with Kofi, and he inadvertently broke the count as Big E was pinning AJ. There were so many close calls in this match. AJ getting close, especially with some big moves, especially after the backflip DDT. And the Pele came in. To Big E getting kicked. Then Jericho got tagged in. There's the Lion Salt. Even tried for a code breaker. And even tried for the Walls of Jericho. On to Kofi. After Kofi missed the Trouble in Paradise. That's when Jericho called him for the Walls of Jericho. But Kofi got a little bit closer to the rope. Close enough to tag in Big E. So Jericho let Kofi go. And even set up the Walls of Jericho on the new legal guy. Big E Langston. But then as he was setting up the Walls of Jericho and Big E was too big, too strong for Jericho to put him in the Walls of Jericho. He even tried for the cold break. But then he got caught. Big E caught him. Big ending. 1, 2, 3. New Day wins. New Day retains. It was like I said, it was a fun match with some great spots there. So then after the match, hard fought effort to Y2AJ. They tried. And then they were, AJ got the pin. Jericho got the pin, should I say. He got pinned by Big E after the big ending. AJ got back in the ring. He was putting up his tag team partner, or so he thought was his tag team partner. The heel turn we thought we were going to see at Fastlane, they just delayed it a few weeks. Boom! 1 code breaker. 2 code breakers. 3 code breakers. Sorry, bad count impression. But I was saying, 3 code breakers. Nailed by Jericho and AJ. Like, Jericho, I love him being a face and all, but when he came back as a face, it kind of felt cheesy, because I love that era. And what better way to turn heel than to do it in the place you debuted, the All-State Arena, on my birthday, August 9th, 1999, turn heel. And I love Jericho's face, like I said, but he's an awesome heel. And you can see that vindictive smile. That smile he had when he was doing the cold breakers on AJ, that vindictive smile he had, He's like, Y2AJ, why you son of a bitch? So now we're heading in a direction. I kind of heard someone say this, that Jericho was going to turn tonight on AJ and set up a match at Mania. That's what we're going to get. Jericho, AJ 4. And I'll say, the matches have been great. The Fastlane match was pretty good. And I know a lot of people would be like, as much as we would rather see AJ and Owens, I wouldn't mind seeing AJ Jericho again. You know what I mean? It would be awesome to see him win tonight as well. But I'm kind of glad they didn't win. Because New Day is so over right now. Like, who can beat New Day? Going to prove they can get their shit together. But now with New Day done with Y2AJ, what's next for them? Are they going to continue feuding with the League of Nations? God, I hate the possibility of that feud. They built that Fastlane, but the videos they've been making fun of them, make up for this shitty-ass feud. They're making good of a bad situation. The videos are funny. We haven't seen those videos yet. I love Kofi's impression of Sheamus. Failure! Oh, God, it's funny. The clips are funny. It's on the YouTube. And on their website, of course. So, very funny. Making good of the situation with League of Nations. They're probably going to set it up formally now. Now that they're done with Y2AJ, they're probably going to have some sort of altercation with League of Nations and set up the match at Mania. Probably sometime next week. So we shall see how it goes. Speaking of setting up matches for Mania, we have a possible match for U.S. Championship set up tonight for WrestleMania after interaction with 2 guys backstage. It would start after the match between Kalisto against Tyler Breeze. We've been talking about getting demoted, blah, 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 blah. It was a short match. Like, Breeze looked good in the match. He had, good little spots in it, but it was a glorified squasher. Despite Breeze's best efforts to try to get a sneak victory, there was, a little exchange there, a little high-flying exchange in the beginning of the match. That was cool. But then Kalisto coming with his high-flying moves would counter Breeze's arrogance as an Ogo, as Breeze would call him, an Ogo. Got the victory with the Salida del Sol. Then Kalisto confronted backstage with Y2AJ, who's now apparently here after walking out a few weeks ago in a tag team match on Raw when I was there in Detroit. Y2AJ's like, I don't need any partners. I want to be by myself. I want to have the spotlight. And I want that U.S. Championship. And how ironic that he would say that about not being involved in tag teams anymore, not want to be part of tag teams, when in his match, he would take on one of his former tag team partners, Curtis Axel. At one point, they were Y2AJ. So, Y2AJ beat the crap out of Adam Rose last week. The social butterflies, as Y2AJ's calling it. He destroyed Adam Rose last week. He destroyed Curtis Axel this week. It was like a beatdown match. God, the fans trolled this match so hard. Goldberg chants galore. Even a couple of CM Punk chants tonight. Get over it. Get over it. I'm a Punk guy. I do like CM Punk, but I'm not one of those boneheads who keep chanting his fucking name. I even saw a sign that said, bring CM Punk back. It's not up to WWE to bring him back. It's CM Punk wanting to come back. It's both sides. It doesn't take one. It takes 2 to tango. they both have to agree, especially with the way they treated CM Punk now, letting him be the main event, blah, 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 blah. We all know that backstage stuff. So Ryback wins, probably setting up a match against him and Kalisto in Mania. Now, I'm happy they're not having Kalisto Del Rio a million, but Kalisto, kind of like Kevin Owens not deserving Big Show in WrestleMania, I don't think Kalisto deserves Ryback as an opponent, especially Ryback's huge. Kalisto can have a good match with him. It's kind of like putting Kevin Owens against Big Show. A guy who can do a lot against a guy who's not mobile enough to hold a match with this guy. Same thing with Ryback and Kalisto. Kalisto's a guy who can do a lot, but he would wrestle Ryback, a guy that's more immobile and can't do a lot with him. Like, Ryback can do a lot more things that Big Show can't. He's not as big as Big Show, but still. Rookie matches with him kind of stiff moves that Ryback delivers, so we'll see how this all ends up. If we do see Kalisto and Ryback, or if it's multi-man. If we're not going to see Owens in a multi-man match, maybe we'll see a U.S. multi-man match. So we shall see. On to the main event. Dean Ambrose against Bray Wyatt. This kind of makes sense, even though they've feuded before. It makes sense that these guys wrestle now. Both guys are on a collision course with one guy, Brock Lesnar. Dean Ambrose is scheduled. That's the key word. Scheduled to fight Brock Lesnar in a no-holds-barred street fight at WrestleMania. Well, Bray Wyatt, who we thought was going to wrestle Brock in Mania, that match will now take place at Roadblock. So at least they're having the match, though, even though it's at Roadblock instead of Mania. At least they're not leaving that whole Royal Rumble build-up to waste, because I thought they had that build-up in the Rumble with Lesnar being taken up by the Wyatt family, having it all be wasted. But at least they're still salvaging it by having some sort of payoff match between Bray Wyatt and Lesnar, even if it's a throwaway special, what could be a throwaway special, especially if Ambrose loses on Saturday. So this match between Ambrose and Bray was decent. Okay action with some action on the outside with Ambrose being nailed against the turnbuckle with Wyatt even at one point trying to set up many times Sister Abigail. The same Ambrose trying to set up Dirty Deeds. So it's kind of physical, kind of a good physical fight between these two guys. They've had some decent matches in the past when they were feuding about a year or two ago. What was it, around late 2014 into early 2015? Like, after Bray Wyatt got involved and Dean Ambrose's great match against Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. The weird ending. It was a great match, but the ending left a lot of people, including myself, scratching their heads. Like, that was a weird way to end it. Not just end the match, but end the pay-per-view as well. It's kind of a funky way to end it. They should have had a conclusive ending to that match. One of many head-scratching decisions WWE has made that we're still debating about today. Like one head-scratcher having Roman Reigns main event Mania 3 years in a row. Really? They're going that direction, huh? Better get booed in the next 3 years, Roman, especially Mania's in Florida next year, I'm hearing. Anyway, so despite a great, decent match, speaking of screwy endings, we delivered a screwy ending in this matchup. As Ambrose came back alive after getting pummeled for most of the match by Bray Wyatt, the lights went out, and here comes the Wyatt family coming in. Strowman, Harper, Rowan, bang, DQ, beatdown was on to Dean Ambrose. And they basically beat him up and left the scraps to Triple H, who came down. And Bray at some point had a nose-to-nose face-off with Triple H, staring at his championship. Will it lead to anything? Well, if history has told us, if they do something with Bray Wyatt that could pay off to something, they get rid of it. Bray Wyatt's going to have a feud with Lesnar after he eliminated in the Rumble. Let's not advance that feud any longer. It's going to be like that. Like, Triple H and Bray Wyatt. That's going to go nowhere. As we saw with the build-up with Lesnar, Wyatt going nowhere after the elimination of the Rumble match. Even though, like I said, we are going to see a match in Rumble. So after Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family took care of Ambrose, Triple H was going to pick up the scraps and beat him up again in the style that he did on last week's Raw. He even whipped off the announce table. He was going to wait to beat Ambrose like he did last week, put him on the announce table and just pummel his ass. But this time, Ambrose would pun the pun on the tables as he would get back up delivered the dirty deeds on Triple H, standing tall as war would end with him holding the WWE Championship. I thought he won it once when he was in a match against Seth Rollins last year at the Elimination Chamber that he won, but then we reversed it. It was a disqualification. I don't want that ending to happen. I don't want, if they want Ambrose to be over, I don't want them to do like they did last year, have him win the championship, then reverse the decision. Then you're buying all over again. Almost. Anyway, it's interesting to see this match happen, and I predicted it. That this match, when it was made last week, they announced the location. I said it was going to be at the special March to WrestleMania, which was renamed Roadblock. So, there you go. I would love Ambrose to win, but I don't think he will. Especially if they're still going to have Reigns be at Mania if he's able to. So, there you go with that. Decent one tonight. A little bit better than last week. Still some head scratches, but at least it was a little bit better than last week's one for sure. Better matches, especially the tag team match. And the heel turn. And Sami Zayn showing up. So, there you go. Good crowd, Chicago. Detroit was good. Chicago's probably one of the best wrestling cities. Too bad we didn't get to boo Reigns, though. Too bad they didn't get to boo Reigns. And he may not be able to show up to the other Raws. I think Pittsburgh's coming up, Philly, and Brooklyn. So there you go. And I also got to mention, when Vince came out to the Shane intro at the beginning of the show, Vince came out to Taker's gong. Trolled the fans right there. Forgot to mention that when I talk about that intro. So there you go. Thank you for watching this review. With that in mind, you've been attacked by this review by Zach. Thank you so much. See you later. Yeah.